There are plenty of wrong ways to shoot a chroma screen, but there are also plenty of right ways. Very few cinematographers approach it exactly the same way. This is because once a cinematographer perfects a process, they tend to keep it fairly secret. Lighting the chroma screen correctly is ultimately important, but it doesn't stop there. Getting an invisible chroma key requires secrets beyond lighting, and these are some of mine. I am often asked why green screen appears to be more popular than blue. Does a green screen key better than blue? The technical answer to this question is yes, but it is the wrong question to ask. When choosing a color screen, the question should be, which screen would key best for the shot that I am compositing? The technical advantages of using green are often outweighed by the practical advantages of using blue. Take this ad for Nescafe as an example. Every shot is made up of several layers, both blue and green. But some of the characters were green, so I shot them against a blue screen. And some of the characters were blue, so I shot them against a green screen. Chroma green is actually more common because blue, particularly blue denim, is more popular in costume design. One disadvantage of green is that its reflective properties are almost double that of blue, so it will contaminate your subject twice as much. This ad is a good example. The pink car was shot against blue screen, and it keyed fine. As color bar blue has a luminance level of less than 20%, there was very little blue contamination or reflection on the subject, so she could wear a shiny crash helmet. The blue car was shot against green screen. It keyed fine also, but because green is a brighter, thus more reflective color, he had to wear a matte helmet. If the background of the subject is going to be blue, I usually shoot using a blue screen, and vice versa. This is because a large color screen on your set will affect the ambient light. If the set is blue, it's okay if the subject's light is also a little bit blue. When possible, I try to shoot hair commercials on green screen. This is because the sensor of most modern cameras use the green channel to carry luminance, often resulting in twice as many pixels as blue or red. This allows me to get finer detail on very thin elements like single strands of hair. This looks like a well-exposed frame. When we look at it on the waveform monitor, it looks very healthy, and it is, but it won't key very well. The waveform monitor shows the frame's luminance. It is indicated by percentage, 100 being pure white and 0 being black. The subject here is exposed between 75 and 85%. This is very healthy. The luminance of the green here is around 75%. If this was not a chroma, this would be perfect, but it is a chroma, so this is just too high. It is a common practice for cinematographers to set camera zebra to 75% warning, expose up to the edge of zebra, then come back down to ensure their exposure is healthy. But when we look at this frame on the parade monitor, we can see where this technique fails. In a data camera, the color white is made up of 3 colors, red, green, and blue, all firing at 100%. On standard color bars, green only has a luminance level of 45 to 50%, depending on your system or format. If we compare color bar green to our shot of chroma green, we can see the difference in luminance. Our chroma is up at 75%. The color bar green is a little below 50%. To analyze this further, we can look at the parade. This monitor splits the frame into 3 colors, red, green, and blue. You read each column as you would a waveform, only it is analyzing the luminance of a single color. In the red channel, we see the chroma green has a luminance of about 45%. In the green channel, the chroma is up at 90%. Both these values are not perfect, but you could still get a key with them. But the blue is right up at 85%. This will make it very difficult to isolate your greens from your blues. The color bar green is only 12% red, 75% green, and only 7% blue. If we see these frames with only their respective colors, we see the color bar green is black in the red, and the chroma has some red in the green. The green channel has not changed on both the color bar and chroma. The blue channel is completely black on the bars, but quite strong on the chroma. This is a behind the scenes shot of one of my chromas. It is a good way to see the ratio between the screen and the subject. If we look at the waveform, we can see the exposure of the subject is healthy, topping off around 95%. But my chroma green is only 40%. When we view this frame on the parade, we can see the green channel is at 55%, the red channel is at 15%, and the blue channel is at 25 to 30%. This will key easily. The reason is I am exposing the green at its native luminance. If I open up till my green hits 75%, I will be 30% closer to white than green. That is why the blue and the red channels were so high. It is tempting to say we can fix it in post, especially if you're behind sked, but every fix has consequences. These creases in the cloth seem harmless enough, but the contrast detail in this crease is actually similar to the contrast of these strands of hair, and actually darker than this shadow. We wouldn't expect this shadow to key, so it's quite strange we expect these creases to. Train your crew to ensure there are no creases in the screen. If you try to pull a one-click key with creases, you get this. With the same setting without creases, you get this. A clean screen will save you time and let you get those fine detailed composites. This is a one-click test composite of a project posted on ProRes 422. We were able to achieve a decent detailed composite. We shot on RAW, but the post house requested ProRes 422 deliverables. This is a frame of the material we delivered, but this is a one-click test composite of the raw material. As you can see, it contains much sharper details. This is a 400% zoom into the flyaway strands of hair on the ProRes material. They are still noticeable and came out quite well in the key, but this is the raw. I find ProRes to be one of the better compressions for keying. Here are 3 side-by-side one-click keys using different cameras and compression. As you can see at full frame, they all key acceptably. If we zoom in at 600%, you can see the different characteristics of each compression. You can key a compressed format, but the less compression, the better the key. For the cleanest and fastest post-composites, set up your keys in grading. If you have chosen the best color screen for the shot, your exposure is correct, your screens are clean, and you have used the best compression available to you, then this procedure should be easy. You will need waveform, parade, and vector scope monitors for this. First, isolate the green. It should be one click if it was shot correctly. Then ask your colorist to take out the red and the blue. On the 3-color waveform, the green will be at around 50%. Here the red is 30%. The blue has already been taken down in this frame. There goes the red. Let's watch that again on the parade. This is the red and this is the green. Notice how the green rises as the other colors are taken down. This is because we are affecting the chrominance only and not the luminance. The green rises in luminance to replace the absence of the red and blue. This is another reason why we should not overexpose the chroma when shooting, so you have enough headroom to lower the 2 unwanted colors. If we watch the same move on the vector scope, we see the chroma green is too close to the yellow. This is because we have already removed the blue. As we remove the red, the color of the screen lines up to the green target. It will be possible now to boost the green luminance a little and hit the green bullseye. Although I don't usually do that, I keep my screens round about 60%. That's a personal preference. I suggest you test this technique first to perfect it and formulate your own preferences. To clarify, if your green looks like the green on the right side of this screen and your parade looks like this, your material will key fine. What we are doing here is not making the key any better. We are standardizing your material. When I grade my keys, I have a technical setting that I match all of my chroma screens to. Color bar green or blue is very easy for the colorist to find because the scopes have targets for it. The reason I standardize all my chroma values is that once the compositor has set the controls for the best key value possible for the first shot, they only need paste attributes and every key shot will result in a perfect key with one click. And that could be the difference between 1 day in post and 1 week in post.